Well, how y'all doing? It's PawPaw again. And I have enjoyed so much over the years teaching people how to make homemade wine. And I bet you I've answered the same question 5,000 times. And I realized that the reason is that I assume, which I shouldn't do, but I assume people have watched my other wine making videos and all their answers. We get all their answers to the questions if they do that. And like my 40-second wine video, how to make wine in 40 seconds, people wouldn't watch it all. They'd watch how I mix it up to boom. The next thing you know, how long before it's finished? Or I've been waiting 2 hours and it ain't wine yet. I'm going, oh God. So I hope to clarify a few things in this video, and this may be the last homemade wine video I make. I don't know. But if you need some more tips, go to my homepage, look at playlists, and find the wine making playlist. It's got all my wine videos in it. Well, today is going to be a little bit different. We're going to make us a bottle of wine here on the hood of my 1965 Ford Falcon. Because it don't get no easier than this, folks. It just don't get no easier. And I don't understand why people have so much trouble with the concept. Before I forget it, let me go ahead and tell you, it takes 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 weeks for your wine to finish making, because it depends on the temperature you keep it at. We had one gentleman, he says, I keep my house 70 to 72 degrees and I've got my jug sitting underneath the kitchen sink, and I just can't understand, after 3 weeks it's still bubbling, or 4 weeks it's still bubbling. I said, well, my God, man, you're setting it in the coldest spot of your house. If your thermostat's right here, it's 70 degrees right here. It ain't 70 degrees down there on the floor. So I said, move it up on top of your refrigerator. Put it in a cardboard box or a bag or something. Keep the light off of it. It'll be all right. Anyway, today, what's going to be different about today's video is you're not going to have to worry about ratios. I don't know why people are having such a problem understanding if I use 1.5 quarts of juice, use 1.5 cups of sugar. So we're going to make some wine with 1 quart of juice, 32 ounces, 4 cups, 1 quart. Okay? Or you might say 1 liter. The only difference between 1 quart and a liter is like 1 ounce. It ain't gonna make that much difference. PawPaw, my wine's too sweet. Well, don't use so much sugar next time. Like my wife likes a little more dry than I do. I don't. I like a good sweet wine because I don't want to sit there and drink a whole bottle. I just want to give me a nice little sampling of it. Anyway, let's get into it, because people are saying, God dang, I didn't want to hear you talk all day. I want to see how big on me went. Well, all right. My recipe. And I do have to tell you this. I tell people it's 1/4 of a teaspoon. One of the boys says, I put a pile of yeast about the size of 1/4. Boy, I don't know if I can get all dissolved or not. 1/4 of a teaspoon. You know, let me see if I got it here. There's a teaspoon. I'm talking about 1/4 of it, just a little bit. Okay? Matter of fact, let me show it to you. In this jar, I have 1 cup of sugar. and I have 1/4 of a teaspoon of yeast. Let me show that to you. That's 1/4 of a teaspoon of yeast. So, just so I ain't got a bunch of utensils out here, I measured a cup of sugar. And that's a cup of sugar right there. And that's 1 quart of juice. PawPaw, my great homemade wine's got sediment on the bottom. Really? Here is a empty bottle. See all that sludge in there? This is from Welch's grape juice. This is not from homemade wine. That's just from Welch's grape juice. It settles. Before you drink any of it, you should shake it up real good. Get those particulates floating around. But don't be freaking out when you see sediment in the bottom of your homemade wine. It's purely natural. Now, if you're using like apple wine or something, you don't have a bunch of sedimentation in that. Anything you see at the bottom is just going to be dead yeast. And while we're talking about yeast, I buy these 3 little packets of yeast at the grocery store. I just bought some today just so I'd have fresh yeast to work with and so I can show it to you. And to see what the price was, because everything's going up. But it was still 89 cents for 3 of these packs. This is one. That's 1 pack, and they come in a strip of 3, okay? For 89 cents. And there's about 2 teaspoons in here. And according to my recipe, that is enough to make 2 gallons of homemade wine. Oh, PawPaw, that 1 pack, by God, that do 5 gallons worth of wine. That's fine. You do your recipe, I'm gonna do mine. It's fine. It's all right. I don't care. I don't care. PawPaw, can I do this instead? I don't care what you do. I'm not your boss. But if you're going to F up my recipe before you even try it, why are you even bothering me? My recipe, 1 quart. There's 1 quart. 1 cup. There's 1 cup. 1/4 of a teaspoon. That's the only thing that goes in this homemade wine is juice, sugar, and yeast. I don't know why that is such a hard concept for people to understand. But it's okay. That's why I make these videos, so I can learn you something. So, let me show you the difficulty in making homemade wine. You must be able to unscrew the cap off of the jug. You must be able to insert a funnel into the jug. And you must be able to pour a cup of sugar and your yeast into the funnel. But here's the hard part. You got to take a stick or something. In this case, I'll use a spoon, because sometimes you get them little clumps of sugar. So you got to help encourage it to go in the jug. So there we go. Now, if you didn't have clumpy sugar, you wouldn't have to do that. So, I'll put the lid on it before I spill it. So let's look at what we got right now. Right now we got a bunch of sugar on the bottom. And we've got some yeast floating on top. Now, make sure your lid's tight and just start shaking it up. Now, all my other videos, you're going to see me doing a quart and a half, a cup and a half, and 3/8 of a teaspoon. And here, I'm just doing 1 quart because I want to emphasize the recipe. 1 quart, 1 cup, 1/4 of a teaspoon, or 1/4 of a teaspoon. Maybe that's where that guy got confused. I said a quarter. Maybe he did not understand that 1/4 is a quarter. That's all. Anyway, 1 quart, 1 cup, 1/4 of a teaspoon, or 1/4 of a teaspoon. And all you're going to do is you're just going to shake this up real good. And you're going to shake it up until all that sugar is dissolved. And once you do that, then you're going to shake it some more. Okay? You want to shake it up really good because this is the last time you're going to touch it. Last time you're going to look at it. Last time you're going to peek at it. Anything for at least a month. You're not going to look at it. You're not going to inspect. Well, of course, everybody will their first time because they get so excited. And I understand. I don't blame you. Hell, I was the same way when I was a kid. Well, PawPaw, we recipe this and that. And, dude, I got thousands of people, tens of thousands of people that have tried my recipe and have wrote me back to tell me how much they've enjoyed it and how good it is. So I'm going to go with the recipe that my daddy taught me, that his daddy taught him. And now I'll pass this on down to my grandkids. But I'm trying to teach you. So try it out. I promise you, that if you follow my instructions to the T, you will be successful in your first try. Now, when you see my other videos, you're going to see where I pour out 2 cups. Okay? Because this is a 2-quart bottle, you will see me pour out 2 cups. So I can put in a cup and a half and 3/8 of a teaspoon, because that'll still leave me head space, and that's the way I do it. Because I don't advise people using other containers, like I'm doing right here, with this clear container. I'm just doing this for the video. But people talking about, PawPaw, you didn't sterilize nothing. Nope, don't need to sterilize nothing. You open up that jug of juice, hell, it's sterile. You ain't gonna contaminate it pouring out 2 cups. You ain't gonna hurt it pouring a pint out. Your sugar's got to go in it regardless. How are you gonna contaminate your sugar? I don't know. PawPaw, how long does it take? If you see bubbles, no matter how many, no matter how few, if you see bubbles, it ain't done. Yeast eats sugar. After eating sugar, yeast poops alcohol. Okay? The sugar goes into yeast, and out the other side of yeast comes alcohol. As long as that stuff is bubbling, that yeast is working, and you're making alcohol. So don't rush it. You can play with my recipe after you've made a batch or 2. Because hell, you can do anything you want to. But make a batch, see how easy it is, see how simple it is, and I promise you, you'll be successful. Now, don't leave that lid on there tight. That sucker will blow up. See, this is stuff I'm telling you because a bunch of other people have already left. Oh, I know how to do it now. 1 quart, 1 cup, 1/4 teaspoon, boom, they're gone. You wouldn't believe how many people have wrote me and said, PawPaw, It exploded. It exploded. It got stuff all in the bedroom closet. It lid on too tight. Here's what you want to do. Well, hell, I heard it hiss then. But you want to loosen that lid to where when you squeeze the jug, see how it's moving? I don't know if you can hear it. But you don't have to have an airlock. In effect, this is an airlock. But what happens is, when the gas builds up in this bottle, it pushes the lid up, the pressure escapes, and it comes right back down. Well, PawPaw, what about putting pantyhose on? What about putting a condom over? What about doing this? What about doing that? I don't give a shit. I don't care what you do. Do whatever you want to do. Don't pay no attention to me. Why are you watching my video if you know everything? I try to follow the KISS philosophy. Keep it simple, stupid. This works perfect. I've never had a problem with it. But remember me talking to you about head space? If this was to foam up, like if you was way up here with your liquid and it started working and foaming, it could get up here into the lid, get that sticky sweetness up in there, and all of a sudden your lid's stuck and it won't move. So we shan't have that problem here. Anyway, I was doing all that shaking, and as you can see, the sugar is dissolved. But we're not going to shake it again. Then what you're going to do is you're going to get you a cardboard box. You're going to maybe double bag grocery bags. See, it's dark in there. I think I got you in there. It's dark in there. One bag wasn't dark enough, by the way. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that inside. I'm going to set this down on it. I'm going to fold it over a little bit, put a couple of clips on it or something just to hold it closed. We ain't got to worry about no pressure blowing it up. And I'm going to write on there. Let's see, I think today for me is the 26th. I think. Anyway, whatever it is, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to, I guess I'll write on there May 1st. That's going to give it over a month of working. Because it ain't going to go bad. Oh, speaking of that, PawPaw, how do I store it? You need to store a quart. Oh, come on, man. Once it's through working, drink it. It ain't going to go bad. But what if I want to store it a long time? Well, make it 5 or 6 weeks before you need it. Then it's ready to go. Make you up some. See how long it takes. See how long it takes for yours to work. And just backdate from there. You know, if you want some to drink for a party on Labor Day, well, mix you up some about the 10th of July. Give it plenty of time. But as far as storing, I don't store mine, but it is wine, okay? And because it's wine, think about how people treat a $1,000 bottle of wine. What do? They put it somewhere cool and dark. That's why these hutchy people have their wine cellars. I don't give a shit about no wine cellar. I make mine to drink. Oh, I didn't mean to say shit. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said shit. Oh, well. That's the way it goes. First your money and then you clothes. Anyway, folks, I can't think of nothing else. See how to store it. I don't store it. How long does it take to make? It depends on the temperature, folks. It depends on the temperature. My dad was telling me about the time he made some in the trunk of the car. a black car in the middle of July in the heat in Tennessee, and that stuff cooked off in 3 days. Yeah, I don't recommend doing that. But mine normally inside the house, where it's, you know, around 70 degrees plus, takes about 3 weeks. Some people said theirs has come off 3 weeks to the day. I don't know. But I tell people, give it a month. Because what happens, a bunch of people, but my wine is so cloudy. Why is my wine cloudy? Because you haven't given it time to rest, to settle. Imagine, if you will, that this is boiling. When it's boiling, you know, if you got a pot of water on the stove and it's boiling, it's agitated. Bubbles are coming up, right? And it's all kinds of, you know, carrying on in there. Then when you turn the heat off and the bubbling stops, whatever was suspended in there slowly sinks down. Okay? Well, it's the same thing with your homemade wine or any liquor, any alcohol, fermentation, any fermentation. You got the bubbles going on. If you give it a week, after it's quit bubbling, if you give it a week, it's going to settle. And then when you pour some in a glass, it's going to have a beautiful color. Now, it ain't going to hurt a thing in the world if you want to drink cloudy wine. Ain't going to hurt nothing. But you want it to be pretty. If you want to show off to your friends, don't serve it before it's, we will serve no wine before it's time. Oh my. And if you really want to impress them, go to a bar somewhere where they sell expensive wine and tell them, I need one of those wine bottles whenever you empty one. One of those, hell, get some Dom Perignon bottles or whatever. Anyway, make your wine and pour your wine in their empty bottle. Put a cork in it. Put it in the refrigerator. When they come over and say, would you care for some Dom Perignon? And open it up, pour them a little bit. Oh, they'll brag about that shit all day long. Oh, we went over to so-and-so's house. We had Dom Perignon, and it was so good. Oh my God. Oh, that stuff's expensive. Works every time. Folks, I gotta go. I got stuff to do. I hope I educated you. And make sure you visit www.gethappyhemp.com. Tell Karen I sent you. Use the discount code DoingItCheap30. Save yourself 30%. Check out the Hero Soap Company. They're mighty fine people out there in Phoenix, Arizona. They make some awesome soap, and they sell part of they donate part of the proceeds to help first responders and military members. And I got a new and exciting American-made product that I'm going to be telling you about in a separate video called Crazy Richard. Wait till you see it. Folks, y'all have a wonderful day and a better tomorrow. Bye, everybody. God, that man's long-winded, honey. He sure is.